Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a big shocker from the British royal family that you probably haven't heard of. Prince William has reportedly revoked his royal title from Queen Camilla's grandson following a huge controversy. What happened behind the royal doors? Why did William make such a drastic decision? Find out the whole truth in today's video. You won't want to miss it. Do you think the royal family should stick to tradition or should they adapt to the times? If you support tradition, leave a comment of 1. If you think it's time for a change, leave a comment of 0. Enjoy the video and don't forget to leave a sub to support the channel to update the hottest royal dramas. Camilla has successfully managed complex and delicate relationships with younger royals like Prince William and Princess Kate. According to royal biographer Christopher Anderson, Camilla initially viewed Kate as an outsider to the royal family. This made Camilla feel uncomfortable around William and Kate. The situation became more difficult when Prince William proposed changes to the way royal duties were divided, which could have affected Camilla's position in the family. Prince William's proposed reshuffle has caused a stir within the royal family, particularly as he seeks to redistribute royal duties to younger members such as Duchess Kate and Duchess Sophie. Specifically, Sophie has been nominated to replace Queen Camilla as patron of the NPCC, while Kate will take on more prominent responsibilities at official events. These changes not only reduce Camilla's power within the family, but also highlight the conflicting visions between generations within the royal family. This is part of William's long-term plan to modernize the monarchy, making it more relevant to modern society. With the support of Princess Anne, William believes that empowering younger members will strengthen the role and future of the royal family. However, for Camilla, these changes are a direct threat to the position she has worked so hard to achieve. At the Balmoral summit, she is said to have expressed uncertainty and anxiety about her role. Despite her years of service and hopes to be recognized as a true queen, Camilla still feels out of place in the family she is a vital part of. Her discomfort was compounded by her difficult relationship with Prince Harry and other younger royals. Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams pointed out that Camilla's emotional reaction at the summit was due to her still seeking acceptance from the royal family. Her strong reaction caught people's attention, especially given the complex relationships within the family. Some were surprised by her comments about Princess Kate, who is known for her grace and loyalty to royal duties. Insiders said Kate was upset by Camilla's sudden criticism, confused as to why her hard work was being questioned. Princess Anne, who has long been a part of the royal family, also expressed surprise, highlighting growing discord within the family. Anne believed in keeping to the traditional ways of the royal family, but also in moving forward and involving younger royals in determining the future of the monarchy. She was surprised by Camilla's actions, highlighting the difficulties the monarchy faces in balancing tradition with the push for modernity. These internal conflicts have exposed ongoing problems within the royal family. Prince William, as the future leader of the monarchy, will now need to address these challenges. He wants to make changes to keep the monarchy relevant in a changing world. But Camilla is uncertain about these changes, showing how difficult it is to go through the transition. Many agree with William's idea of making the monarchy more effective and inclusive. Do you think Prince William is taking more power in the royal family? If you think so, comment number 9. If you think it's not, comment number 6. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next developments in this dramatic royal story. The public and observers see William and Kate as the ideal people to steer the British monarchy in a more modern and contemporary direction. However, the response from Queen Camilla suggests that this transition will not be a smooth one. Despite simmering internal resistance, William has shown his commitment to his reformist vision with strong support from Princess Anne and a steady hand from Kate. With this trio, William is in a strong position to lead the royal family through a period of great change. Meanwhile, Camilla is forced to find a way to maintain her influence in a context where traditional roles are shifting. She faces pressure from both the public and within the royal family to adapt to the changes taking place. Her performance at the Balmoral summit showed a clear unease at the prospect of being eclipsed by the new power structure. Whether Camilla can reconcile tradition with modernity will be crucial to her place in the future of the monarchy, a future that is being rewritten by a younger generation. The choices made by key figures like William, Kate, and Camilla will determine the future of the monarchy at this pivotal time. William and Kate appear ready to take on a major leadership role, but Camilla's ability to handle these situations will be crucial to the institution's development. Supporting William's ideas and nurturing their relationship could lead to a stronger royal family. But if tensions within the royal family continue to escalate, it could pose a serious threat to the monarchy's long-term reputation and standing. William's reform choices, from redistributing responsibilities to promoting younger members of the family, are not just an internal strategy. They are also a public message about a new direction. While these moves raise expectations for a more modern monarchy, they also carry risks, especially if they unintentionally hurt veterans like Camilla. If the public feels that William is disrespecting or ignoring her contributions, it could negatively impact his image as the future king on whom so much is expected. In such a context, William's political dexterity and ability to reconcile the two sides will be the real test. He will need to find a way to honor traditional values while promoting necessary change. Any rift within the family, especially if exposed publicly, could undermine public confidence in the monarchy. But Camilla is not one to back down easily. Having spent a long time building her image and standing alongside King Charles III, she has every reason to protect her personal legacy and her family's future in the royal family. There has been recent speculation within the palace that Camilla is quietly planning to boost the profile and influence of her own family, including her children from a previous marriage. Some sources have suggested that her calm demeanor in the face of change is not entirely a resignation, but rather a strategy to prepare for bolder moves. After a controversial journey to be recognized as Queen Camilla, may now have her sights set on a bigger goal, securing a permanent and secure place for her lineage in the future of the monarchy. Camilla's own family, long distant from the official royal family, appear to be moving into the spotlight. Her two children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes, grew up apart from royal life, but have recently become more visible at royal events. Insiders have suggested that Camilla is deliberately encouraging her children to become more involved in royal life than they have ever been. There have been quiet discussions about granting them royal titles, a controversial move that, if realized, would signal Camilla's long-term political ambitions. Alongside her efforts to care for her children, attention has also been focused on her granddaughter, who has recently been seen with Prince George at a number of private events. Despite her young age, close relationships at an early age are sometimes more than just coincidences in the royal family. Some have speculated that Camilla is now planning to forge a strong link between her lineage and the future of the throne. While this may seem far-fetched, such strategic alliances are not uncommon in royal history, especially when it comes to cementing a position over generations. Camilla may be playing a long game. Bringing her children and grandchildren into the royal family's orbit isn't just about prestige, it's also a way to protect and consolidate her personal influence during this tumultuous transition. As queen, she has certain privileges to influence her public image, and she's clearly using them to reshape her family's role in the future of the monarchy. If Camilla's granddaughter does marry Prince George in the future, it would create a strong and lasting link between the Parker Bowles family and the royal family, a move that is both symbolic and strategic. Many are now wondering, was this something Camilla had planned all along? Was her controversial marriage to King Charles III really a love affair? Or was it the first step in a long-term plan to protect her and her family's position? In retrospect, Camilla's steadfastness in dealing with public opinion, her tact in communicating, and her unwavering loyalty to Charles have led many to suspect that she acted with a clear vision of the future. But the plan may be in danger of collapsing. A recent disagreement between Camilla's nephew and Prince George, though details have not been made public, is thought to have caused Prince William to lose his patience. William, who is known for his calm and strategic demeanor, was visibly upset, indicating the seriousness of the situation and the potential consequences for the relationship Camilla has worked so hard to cultivate. With William playing a central role in modernizing the monarchy, any rift between him and Camilla could completely sever the fragile bond between the two families. In this context, Camilla's years of hard work to gain recognition and build a secure future for her children and grandchildren may be in vain. Despite her tireless efforts to transform her image from pariah to full-fledged queen consort to King Charles, Camilla is facing the harsh reality that royal acceptance does not always mean a guarantee of power for her own family. If her relationship with William continues to be strained, she could see all her hard work unravel, along with her dream of leaving a royal legacy for future generations. On a seemingly peaceful Sunday in Windsor Gardens, a small but consequential incident occurred, and it may have been the moment that ended Camilla's hopes of moving her family further into the royal circle. While the younger members of the royal family were enjoying the sunshine, one of Camilla's nephews, who doesn't have a royal title but was allowed to attend because of his connections to her taunted Prince George. It seemed harmless at first, but it quickly escalated into a series of insensitive remarks, mockery, and bullying. George, raised in a world of rules and expectations, was deeply hurt. The teasing went beyond challenging his future status to insulting the memory of his late grandmother, Princess Diana. The way the words were spoken with surprising knowledge from a child left the adults around him stunned. No one was sure whether the boy had come up with them himself or was repeating something he had heard in private conversations between adults, especially those close to Camilla. William, who is fiercely protective of his children and devoted to family harmony, could not ignore it. After George returned uncharacteristically quiet, Kate reportedly spoke to her husband about the incident. And then William acted. Within the palace, he is said to have demanded the withdrawal of any plans that had been proposed to bring Camilla's children closer to the heart of the royal family. This was not an impulsive decision, but an affirmation that the honor of the royal family, especially that of the next generation, could not be taken lightly. This could be the big mistake that will send Camilla's long-term plans into a tailspin. A slip of the tongue from a child, or perhaps a bigger shadow from an adult, could be enough to undo years of accumulated strategy. The question now is not just what happened, but what will Camilla do next when both her position and the legacy she has sought for her family are on the brink of collapse? Prince George's mother. Princess Catherine immediately noticed something was wrong with her son's red eyes-drawn expression and slow movements. When she gently asked, George opened up and detailed the insults, taunts, and bullying he had endured during that intimate encounter. For a child raised in a loving and strict environment, the experience left George feeling small, deeply traumatized, and the first major turning point in his life. A painful one. Kate, who was known for her calm and patient demeanor, reacted very strongly. This time she became extremely angry and worried about her son. Prince William, who has always been known for his protective nature and pride in his family, was also deeply affected by the situation. Although there was no shouting or public announcement, William quietly but firmly made a decision that had a huge impact on the royal family. This decision was not just a disciplinary action, but also a stern warning to maintain order and honor in the royal family. Camilla's nephew, who had been considered for a special role in the royal family and was expected to contribute to the elevation of Camilla's family, was suddenly stripped of all titles, roles, and invitations to royal events. This decision not only ended his royal future, but also created a huge shock within the palace. Immediately, people started talking about this event. Some people were pleased with William's decisive decision, while many others were surprised and worried about the possible negative effects on family relationships. Camilla has made a number of efforts to elevate her family's status within the royal family, from lobbying for minor titles for family members to naming schools near the royal family to encouraging her children to be more involved in royal events. Initially, these moves were considered normal and reasonable. However, according to many in the palace, they were too much too soon and a bit too ambitious. Now Camilla's plans and intentions have been completely stalled. King Charles, who had held several meetings to try to resolve the family feud, remained silent. Rather than easing tensions, his silence was a silent message about the difficulties that existed. Torn between his wife and his son, he chose to remain neutral. Camilla, according to many sources, felt extremely angry and disappointed when her private plans were suspended publicly without an official announcement. The once close relationship she had built was now gradually broken, and the public could easily see the growing tension within the royal family, making the future of Camilla and her family in the royal family more uncertain than ever. Although no official announcement was made, observers noticed that some children were absent from family gatherings. Smiles were strained, and seating arrangements were different. People were always interested in what was happening with the royal family. What was supposed to be a normal family day of messy food, happy children, and happy grandparents took a turn. The day was a milestone, not only because of the care Prince George received, but also because he received emotional support that is rarely publicly displayed within the royal family. Although it was handled very quietly and privately, it was an unusual and groundbreaking move by the royal family to prioritize the fairness and feelings of their younger members over the traditional silence. The decision was a small but significant step, indicating a shift in the way the royal family is increasingly concerned about the mental and emotional health of the heirs to the throne. Though often seen in joyous moments at grand events, the young members of the royal family are not immune to pain and inner hurt. What was supposed to be a weekend family bonding session turned into a scene of deep conflict. Prince George's tears were not only a sign of a boy coming to understand the great responsibilities and pressures he would have to shoulder in the future, but also the trigger for a power struggle within the royal family. Amid the gentle afternoon sunlight and the lush green gardens surrounding the palace, A new chapter of the royal family began to be rewritten with more challenges and tensions than ever before. Families were enjoying themselves with laughter music and the smell of fresh pastries in the air. Parents were relaxing under a white tent, drinking tea and chatting. Children were playing nearby, supervised but mostly free to play and have fun. The event was intended to be a peaceful gathering filled with elegance and traditional customs. But then something surprising happened. What had started as a pleasant afternoon took a dark turn. The football match started out as a friendly affair with light touches and loud voices, the norm at family gatherings. However, things took a turn when Camilla's eldest grandson began making cruel comments about Prince George. He was criticized for his gait, belittled, and even ridiculed for his clothes. The comments became increasingly vicious and hurtful, creating a hostile atmosphere that was difficult to ignore. Even at 11, Prince George has learned to keep his cool in public, but this time the deliberate and malicious bullying left him upset and hurt. When George tried to withdraw from the group, the taunts continued, mocking his skills and even calling him special in a derogatory way. The most hurtful insult was when he was called Mama's boy, a direct reference to George's relationship with his late mother, Princess Diana. As the situation escalated, staff quickly intervened, separating the children and putting George in a car with bodyguards to avoid being recorded by the media. Despite the careful and discreet care, Prince George could not contain his emotions and quietly shed tears in the car. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in the tent where the meeting took place initially appeared normal. Camila maintained her composure, chatting with the guests as if nothing had happened, or perhaps she deliberately kept her distance to avoid mentioning the incident. However, Princess Catherine immediately realized that something was wrong through her son's strange eyes and attitude, signaling a more serious sign that was secretly taking place. Catherine noticed that Camilla's smile was a little strained, and that her hand was gripping Princess Charlotte's more tightly than usual, a sign of underlying tension. When the event was over and they returned to Adelaide Cottage, Catherine decided to tackle the matter head-on. She spent time alone with Prince George, just the two of them, without staff or anyone else present, a truly heartfelt conversation between mother and son. George was hesitant at first, but gradually he opened up and shared what he had been through: the cruel jokes, the insults, the ridicule of his father, as well as the hurtful words about his late grandmother Diana. As Catherine listened attentively to the story, her face changed from calm to stern, showing her determination to protect her son. That silent but powerful anger was like the strength of a mother who would do her best to protect her child. Catherine, who had always strictly followed the rules and was loyal to the monarchy, was optimistic and patient in many situations, but now it was time for her to speak out clearly that this behavior had to stop immediately. This was the final line that she could not ignore to protect her son's future and soul. She chose to be honest and express her feelings openly. Catherine had a deep conversation with William, which was a very emotional and intense moment for both of them. They had a frank discussion without shouting or anger. Catherine remained calm and composed without crying or pleading, but she made it clear that their son had been hurt, and she was determined to prevent it from happening again in their family, especially by someone they trusted. Under the soft light of the living room lamp, Catherine gently compared William to her mother, Princess Diana. She did not hesitate to emphasize that the rigid rules and constant pressure of royal life had caused deep damage and left lasting emotional wounds for Diana. From there, Catherine expressed her strong determination that she did not want her son to experience similar trauma. She encouraged William to stand up and take on the role of future king with fortitude, but at the same time, he needed to know how to protect his own feelings and responsibilities. William listened to every word with deep understanding. He saw his son George not only as the future heir to the throne, but also as a sensitive child who needed to be protected, nurtured, and supported, both in the royal environment and in his own small family. That night, the atmosphere in the house was peaceful, but filled with intense emotions. George went to bed early, his eyes still red, while Catherine and William sat side by side, silently sensing a profound change taking place in both of their minds. They talked a lot, but a silent understanding emerged that went beyond words. Protecting George now meant more than just physical security. It meant speaking out against cruelty, especially from those closest to her. Catherine was adamant about not keeping quiet or leaving her son to deal with such pressure alone. She was against the way adults imposed their opinions on children and was willing to set rules and boundaries to protect him. But the big question remained, how would she effectively protect George in such a complex environment? Everyone was waiting to see what the next steps would be. The next day, Kate decided to cancel all scheduled meetings and stay at home with George and Charlotte. This was not a simple day off, but a silent protest. In private, she insisted that everything be recorded, not ignored or changed. The story quickly reached the palace when King Charles's personal assistant received a message about the incident involving Prince George. Prince William and the Princess of Wales requested a private meeting with the king, which took place the next day. King Charles listened to the story seriously and appeared concerned while Queen Camilla tried to downplay the incident, saying it was just a trivial childish quarrel. When asked about the consequences for her nephew, Camilla simply smiled and said, "They're just kids. They'll soon forget." However, Kate didn't need to argue further because her silence, serious expression, and the way she held George's hand said it all. She knew that without timely support, such mental trauma could lead to serious consequences, such as anxiety, depression, or even addiction. Now Kate was no longer just defending her royal titles or position. She was a mother who protected her son with all her strength and determination. Prince William, despite always respecting his father and fulfilling his royal duties, could not remain silent about his son's situation, and this time he decided to speak up. Immediately after his private meeting with the king, William returned to Kensington Palace, gathered his inner circle, and paced his study, preparing for a major announcement. He insisted that Camilla's nephew would not be given a royal title without the consent of senior family members. While Camilla gradually introduced her children and grandchildren to the public in the hope of consolidating her family's position and power, William saw through the ruse. His indifference to George's pain was no accident, but part of Camilla's long-term strategy to secure her family's future in the monarchy. William was determined to prevent the boy who had hurt George from suffering consequences. He saw the boy as a symbol of the negative effects of Camilla's attempts to manipulate power, a strategy that used her close relationship with the king to change royal customs, promote favoritism, and disrupt the traditional order. With a firm resolve, William focused on preserving the fairness and stability of the royal family, while protecting his son from negative influences that could linger into the future. It was not just a professional or formal matter for William, but a deeply personal one. When their son was hurt, Kate and William decided to keep the matter out of the public eye, avoiding unnecessary noise or controversy. However, within the privacy of the palace walls, they sent a clear message that the incident had deeply affected them emotionally and spiritually. They did not see it as an isolated incident, but as a warning of potential dangers that could affect the future and stability of the royal family. Prince William, who has always been calm and reliable in difficult situations, showed a different side when faced with threats to his children. His strong protective instincts were more evident than ever. William has shared that when he became a father, the boundaries between work and personal life seemed to blur, and he experienced emotions that exceeded his own. He sent a strong message to the palace: the safety and well-being of his children must come first, even more important than tradition or the unity of the royal family. This marked a significant shift in the way he protected his family, showing that he was willing to stand up for his children at all costs. This was not something he announced publicly, but a choice he made privately within the palace. The decision had a major impact. William informed his trusted advisors that Camilla's nephew would no longer be allowed to attend royal gatherings where his children were present. William announced that Camilla's nephew would not be allowed to attend birthdays, holidays, or trooping the color rehearsals if William's children were present. He stood firm in his decision and did not want any discussion about it. When it was suggested that an apology from Camilla might ease the situation, William firmly rejected it, insisting that what his son needed was not an apology, but real and lasting protection. News of this hardline stance quickly spread throughout the royal family. King Charles, who had hoped to find a peaceful solution to preserve stability, was shocked by his son's uncompromising decision. He paced his private study trying to comprehend the gravity of William's choice, an unusual move from someone who had always prioritized family harmony and moderation. William not only set a clear line that he refused to budge on, but also wanted to redefine what royal privilege meant in modern society. According to him, titles and invitations should not be granted solely on the basis of family ties or personal connections, but should be the result of action, respect, and above all, honor. He felt that this line had been seriously breached, putting fairness and dignity at risk. When Camilla received the news at Clarence House, she was shocked and stunned by the severity of William's reaction, causing further tension within the royal family. Camilla's emotions turned from disbelief to intense anger. She had worked so hard to secure a place in the royal circle for her children and grandchildren, even if it was only a small one. The quiet attendance at events, the invitations all carefully calculated with a single goal to make her family's name remembered in royal history, not just as a sideline detail. But now William had dashed that dream with a single decision, as if he had not only rejected her grandson, but also negated everything she had built up. She shakily put her teacup down on the table, the bitterness of disappointment and tension completely overwhelming the taste of the tea, making her feel like this was no more than punishment than justice. However, William does not want to use his power to seek revenge or hurt anyone. Instead, he wants to leave a lasting mark on fairness and principle in the royal family. He has set strict rules to protect his children and respect the legacy and memory of his late mother, Princess Diana. Through it all, William has made it clear that even though he is a member of the royal family, he values his role as a father above all else. Protecting and raising his children in a safe, loving environment is his top priority. In a world where royal duties often require silence and sacrifice, Prince William made a strong decision to prioritize the safety of his children over following tradition. Camilla and William clashed over family. Camilla barged into King Charles's study without knocking. She looked upset, clutching a letter and speaking loudly, which was not normal for her. William's letter had shocked her at first, but now she just felt betrayed. Camilla could not hide her anger when she said that William had brought shame to her family and humiliated her. She stressed that it was a young man who was involved and should have been handled more gently, but King Charles, meanwhile, did not want to expand the argument. He looked older, tired from the burden of his leadership duties. Charles listened carefully to Camilla, even sympathizing with her pain, but he also saw the bigger picture. Charles felt sorry for the pain Camilla was feeling, but he understood his responsibility to prepare for the future of the kingdom. William was not just acting as a son, but as a future king, laying the foundations for his dynasty. He had faced many storms, doubts, and rumors during his reign, so he knew that he could not afford to have major disagreements with his successor. He did not want to be questioned later about why he had not acted decisively when things were still under control. Charles assured Camilla that he would not object to William's protection of the family because everyone in the family deserved respect and protection. Camilla turned pale and left without a word, slamming the door behind her, leaving the palace staff stunned. Known for her calmness and control of her emotions, this action took many by surprise. Camilla decided to cancel a planned public event, citing a headache, but no one really believed it. Rumors quickly spread that she had not mentioned William's name at dinner and remained silent, creating a cold atmosphere in the dining room. Camilla's anger did not seem to subside, but became more insidious, quiet, and profound. Those close to her realized one thing clearly: there was a permanent change in her relationship with William. Camilla, who had always been known for her intelligence, patience, and flexibility, no longer considered William as an illegitimate son, but began to see him as a real rival. Worse still, Camilla realized something disturbing. William was not only winning the situation, but he was also controlling the future of the royal family. Initially a private matter, the incident quickly became public knowledge, shocking and surprising many in the palace and the public. At a family event, Camilla's nephew and Prince George had a negative interaction in which George was mocked and insulted, sparking much speculation and controversy. Although there was no physical altercation, the incident had a profound impact. Rumors and sensational media headlines quickly spread, and the real story was finally revealed. The controversial headlines focused on Prince George being insulted by some of his father's close relatives, causing great concern and division among the public. In response to the pressure, William decided to strip Camilla's nephew of a royal title, acting out of personal reasons and a sense of responsibility to protect his family rather than political considerations. The public reaction was swift and strong. Social media exploded with heated discussions, and royal forums showed unwavering support for William and George. Many called for the boy to be protected, while recalling Princess Diana, believing that she would be proud of how her son and grandson handled the situation. The parallels between past and present make the story all the more remarkable. Camilla was blamed for the troubles in the royal family, and now her grandson is causing controversy with direct consequences for Diana's grandson. The phrase Team George began to spread on social media, with artists even drawing George wearing a small crown, looking confident and resilient. Many admired the young prince for his innocence, courage, and compassion, seeing them as true royal qualities not related to his lineage, but in his conduct. Experts also weighed in, offering insightful analysis of the situation and what it meant for the future of the monarchy. A former royal press secretary said it was a big moment for William because he was focused on his son rather than the media spotlight. It touched a lot of people's hearts who saw a new side of the palace. The controversy was not just about what was said, but about deep beliefs protecting the family and showing loyalty. At that moment, people could see which side they were on. What is Camilla trying to do with her maneuvers as the royal family takes a bold new direction? The recently announced plan to modernize the monarchy focuses explicitly on the younger generation, especially Prince William and Princess Kate, overshadowing her role in the future of the royal family. This has left Camilla's position and influence within the royal family blurred and controversial. Prince William, the heir to the throne, has spoken publicly about the importance of looking forward, modernizing, and making the monarchy more effective. However, in his measured remarks, he did not mention Camilla, which has led many to question her role in the long-term development of the royal family. The absence of Camilla's name from William's statement is a clear signal that she will not play a central role in the future of the monarchy. The plan to restructure the royal family aims to reduce the number of active royals, save costs, and focus on the direct heirs to the throne. In doing so, people like Camilla, the Queen consort by marriage to King Charles III and not directly involved in shaping the future of the monarchy, will be less visible and her public role will be significantly reduced. It is a major shift reflecting a profound change in the way the modern royal family operates and its priorities. In this new structure, Camilla's responsibilities appear to be lessened with more focus on William, Kate, and their children. The change signals a priority on connecting with young people and the contemporary values that William and Kate represent. But for Camilla, it is a step back personally and professionally. Traditionally, as queen, she supports the monarch and represents the crown to the public. The new plan sees a shift away from outdated roles, leaving less room for Camilla to contribute. The restructuring of the royal family has exposed ongoing tensions between members. King Charles has tried to elevate Camilla, but William has a different idea for a modern monarchy. The disagreement has raised concerns about the power dynamics within the family and how it could affect their relationships. In public statements, William has been careful but firm in presenting the restructuring as a major step towards modernizing the monarchy. He has avoided criticizing Camilla, directly presenting the changes as more practical than personal. However, his failure to acknowledge her contribution speaks volumes to Camilla. This is significant. Being excluded from plans to shape the future of the monarchy diminishes her impact and presence. This has left many wondering about Camilla's legacy and true place in the royal family, especially considering the years of hard work and perseverance she has spent trying to establish herself, build her reputation, and win public support. Her exclusion from the royal restructuring, which has focused instead on the younger generation such as Prince William and Kate, reflects a clear shift in priorities towards members closer to the throne, while also obscuring her public role and influence in the larger picture of the modern monarchy. The decision reflects the growing power of Prince William and Kate as they assert their central role in reshaping and modernizing the monarchy. Meanwhile, Camilla has been pushed further behind the scenes, which is difficult given her long-standing efforts in the royal family. Queen regents have traditionally played an important role in supporting the monarch, but their influence has often diminished after their spouses have left office, creating a complex cycle of power within the palace. By de-emphasizing Camilla, William is showing the importance of the future direction of the monarchy. The main focus now is on sustainability, contemporary beliefs, and the direct line of succession. The consequences of this plan for the royal family will be significant as it unfolds. Camilla is faced with the challenge of maintaining her dignity and finding her role in a family that is growing without her. The removal of Queen Camilla from a key role in the restructuring of the royal family marks a significant turning point for both her and the royal family. It is not just a change in her position, but also a profound shift in power within the family. However, this is not the first time that Prince William has restricted the role of Camilla's relatives. Previously, her sister, Annabel Elliot, was also removed from key positions in the Duchy of Cornwall in a major reshuffle led by William. William, as Duke of Cornwall, has decided to take the duchy in a new direction by removing Annabel Elliot from the management of the duchy. Elliot, an experienced interior designer, has worked with the royal family for more than 2 decades and has made a significant contribution to the management of the duchy's assets. Her departure marks the end of a long partnership and shows William's determination to modernize and refresh the vast estate. Under Elliot's leadership, many projects have been successfully completed to restore and preserve historic buildings in Cornwall, Wales, and the Isles of Scilly. These projects have not only preserved their historical value, but also transformed these properties into luxury resorts, attracting tourists and significantly increasing the revenue of the duchy. With his sophistication, attention to detail, and excellent taste, Elliot has helped to harmoniously combine tradition and modern convenience, contributing to the prestige and efficiency of the Duchy of Cornwall's property management. She assisted in the restoration and design of Dumfries House in Scotland, which is now a 20-room historic residence. Elliot also oversees the estate office space and assists the nursery that supplies plants to the duchy's properties. Her work is considered valuable in maintaining the sustainability and visual appeal of the duchy's properties. Despite her high regard for her professionalism and taste, Elliot is not officially an employee. She works on a commercial basis and is paid between $19,625 and $82,272 a year for various projects. She is also reimbursed for inventory and furnishings. However, the Principality's latest financial statements show that Elliot will not receive any payment for her services in the 2023 to 2024 financial year. It was the first time in more than 20 years that she had not been paid for her work. While the official reason for Elliot's termination was not related to her performance, the timing of the decision has raised eyebrows. Some believe that her close family ties to Queen Camilla may have played a role in the decision. Elliot has always had a close relationship with her sister and has been quietly involved in royal circles for a long time. Her former position of trust in the duchy has given credence to rumors of changes and moves within the royal family. Those who know Prince Charles say he is trying to make the duchy more modern and professionally run. Prince William wants the duchy to be innovative, efficient, and transparent in its management. His team is said to be reviewing old partnerships and agreements to ensure they are in line with these new goals. Elliot's departure from the duchy appears to indicate that William wants to run things his way, rather than keeping the old ways of his father, King Charles III, who ran the duchy before becoming king. The financial statements released when Elliot left provide a stark comparison. Elliot will not receive any payments in 2023, while Prince William is said to have earned around $30 million from the Duchy of Cornwall. The duchy, founded in 1337 by King Edward III to provide a steady income for the heir to the throne, owns around 137,000 acres of land across southern England, as well as neighboring Cornwall, Wales, and the Isles of Scilly. It is a vast estate of great historical and economic importance to the royal family, and has been a symbol of power and wealth for centuries. Under Prince William's stewardship, the duchy's revenues have grown significantly, helping to strengthen the royal family's financial foundations amid major changes and pressures to modernize. The departure of Elliot, the youngest sister of Queen Camilla, from her position as the head of the Duchy of Cornwall is seen as a significant turning point, showing that William is taking the initiative to take the duchy in a new direction with a focus on efficiency and sustainability. However, this decision also entails inevitable consequences when balancing long-standing traditions with bold reforms, and directly affects the royal relationships that have been built up over many years. Along with the financial and management changes, Camilla's public image has also undergone many positive changes. Through her tireless efforts, she has tried to become more friendly, approachable, and kind, which has led to constructive media coverage, and her image has become brighter than before. Her bright smiles at official events have gradually helped to erase old prejudices. However, as attention has gradually shifted to Prince William and Princess Kate, prominent figures with modern, calm working styles and a subtle respect for tradition, Camilla's position has been somewhat overshadowed. When William and Kate's son, Prince George, was hurt by unexpected events, the couple decided to publicly defend their child in a strong and decisive manner. This action received widespread support from the public, making both the public and royal staff feel in agreement. A series of letters of encouragement were sent to Kate, many of which were sincere and touching. Even veteran staff who worked with Princess Diana saw in William a deep concern for his children, similar to the love and responsibility that Diana had shown in the past. A warm and meaningful moment took place on a peaceful Sunday morning when William, Kate, and their two children, George and Charlotte, arrived at church. Although the crowd outside was small, they still gave the royal family a gentle round of applause, expressing sincere admiration and approval. Kate's gentle gesture towards her son, although wordless, was expressed through her loving gaze and deep concern, highlighting the close bond within the family, where love is always a solid foundation. Unlike previous royal family conflicts that were often kept private to avoid attention, this time William and Kate chose to share publicly to protect their children from harm, despite pressure from public opinion and the media. They did not violate any rules or standards, nor did they cause controversy, but simply expressed family affection and responsibility. This made the public feel emotional, sympathetic, and even more respectful of the young royal couple. Meanwhile, Camilla is facing a difficult reality as her efforts to improve her image begin to fade. The public is beginning to question whether she is truly prioritizing her family, especially as her grandson, once a figure who was widely expected to be a major part of the royal family's future, shows signs of straying from the expected path. It is worth noting that this change is not related to any scandal or political scandal, but rather a subtle shift in the public's perception of her position and role. This reflects the profound reality that no matter how sincere and kind a person is, the perceptions of society and those around them can change over time. It is not a power struggle, but an honest expression of deep emotions such as love, sadness, and courage, the elements that create strength and social consensus in modern times. The public has unanimously supported William and Kate because they are not just royals with prestigious titles, but also people who clearly demonstrate family affection and real responsibility in life. People expect leaders to not only rely on titles, but also be worthy of real actions and sincerity. This event marks an important milestone, proving that power does not only come from loud voices or traditional power, but also comes from protecting justice, honesty, and love in life. The royal family is now shifting its focus to real values such as honesty and love. Instead of remaining secretive and clinging to old traditions, it is dedicated and responsible individuals who will truly shape the future of the monarchy in the new era, bringing positive and meaningful change to both the family and the country. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. The story of Prince William and the decision to revoke the title from Queen Camilla's nephew will certainly be controversial in the coming time. Do you think this is the right thing to do? Or is there something hidden behind it that has not been revealed? Leave your comments below in the comments section. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the latest royal news and hottest drama. See you in the next video.